Hi, everyone. Stephen Husted, Rainmaker Real Estate. This is part 2 of my first YouTube video that I did on how to buy a home as a first-time home buyer. First video, and I didn't think I was going to be able to speak over 10 minutes, and I went 24 minutes, so we had to break up the video into 2 parts. So my apologies. I'm learning as I go, but let's dive into it. This is part 2 of buying a home as a first-time home buyer. Let's go. Once you do get into contract is you're going to be doing inspections. Now, where I live in Silicon Valley, we do all the inspections up front on all our properties that we sell. So the seller takes care of the property, the termite, the roof, the chimney. We take all those inspections and we put it with the disclosures. And so then when buyers go look at the properties, they get the disclosure packet with all the property inspections done. Everything is there for them to look at, and they can make a decision, write an offer. And that's why we pretty much go non-contingent. However, in different states, they do it differently. I know out in Missouri, the sellers don't do inspections. So what happens is you get in contract and the buyers go out there, they do inspections, and all of a sudden, if there's things on the property that the buyer doesn't like and wants repaired or wants a credit, the seller and the buyer need to negotiate on that. Sometimes they'll get a credit. Sometimes the seller will be not going to be taking care of anything, and then the transaction can fall apart. So understand that you will be doing inspections, and typically I would say property, termite, roof, chimney, all depends on the house that you're looking at. Or if it's a condo, it's going to be different, or a townhouse. It all really depends. So once you're in contract, you do all the inspections, you're going to go through all this paperwork. You're going to be signing a lot of things. Most of it will be done digitally online with, let's say, DocuSign or Dotloop is typically the platforms that we use. So you'll be signing a lot of things. And sometimes in the hustle bustle of our daily lives, people get busy, and you might have documents coming over that you're going to sign. You're going to sign them just on your phone. When you're getting to work in the morning, you're not really paying attention. Make sure that you at least go through your documents the best you possibly can, and then talk to your agent and have them give you a summary on it. If you're somebody that needs to be walked through from point A to B, then do it. But understand what you're signing throughout the whole transaction. And you're going to be doing this too with your lender. So you'll be doing documents with them. Pay attention to everything that's getting signed. Question things when you see it. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. You should be asking a lot of questions because this is your first time, and transactions have a lot of moving parts. So you're going to be going, okay, I'm signing this, I'm learning this. Okay, I'm going through this now. It's going to be a whirlwind. It's exciting, but it can be stressful too. So you got the right team, you're going to be fine. So let's say you find the property and you get into contract, you've agreed to price and terms. Now you're going to go into escrow. And once you go into escrow, you're going to have a few days to get your earnest money deposit into escrow. It's usually done by a wire. If I can tell you anything about wire transfers, is be very careful. Make sure that when you get wire instructions from the title company, to make sure that you understand everything as far as the wire instructions are concerned. So now you got into contract on your property. You agreed on price and terms with the seller. And what are going to be the next steps? So the next steps are going to be that you're going to have to wire in your earnest money deposit. And it's usually 1 to 3% of the purchase price. And this is usually done in a wire transfer. Make sure that you talk to the title and escrow company that you're going to be using, and make sure that you get the wire instructions and call them and have them read the numbers on the wire instructions, because there's a lot of wire fraud. So that's first and foremost. Now you're going to get into contract. Now you're going to be signing disclosures, documents, depending on where you live, what state you're in. You're going to be getting inspections done if the inspections aren't done, and you're going to be doing all this due diligence. And so you're going to be spending a good 15 days doing this. You're going to get an appraisal done on the property. And what's going to happen with the appraiser is going to come out there. They're going to walk the property. They're going to take photos. They're going to measure the property. And then they're going to go back and they're going to look at comps in the area, and they're going to form an opinion of value. And if that opinion of value lines up with the purchase price that you went into contract on, you're going to get a loan. So that's what goes on with the appraisal. Now, for inspections, you're going to hire inspections, and the inspector will go out there, walk the property. No house is perfect. I don't even care if it's a brand new construction. There's going to be items on there that you're going to find, whether you're doing a termite inspection, a roof, chimney, property, you're going to find issues. The question is, are the issues on these inspections manageable? What is the cost behind them? Rule of thumb is to, after I get the inspections done, I pass them to a handyman or a contractor to get bids so that I understand what I'm going into. And this is just an easy way because you get these inspections and you'll think that the house is falling down because you'll just see all this writing. It sounds scary. It looks scary in the photos. But sometimes these things aren't that big. So make sure that you understand when you get these inspections done, just talk to experts. They'll give you all the best advice you possibly can get. Okay. So you're going to go through that whole process, going through escrow. And when you get ready to close on the property, you're going to be going to the title company. You're going to be signing your loan docs. And after that, you're going to be bringing the remainder of your down payment. You're going to be wiring that into escrow to finish off closing on your property. And that's going to be done with the same wire instructions that you used in the first time when you got your earnest money done. Typically, a transaction is going to be anywhere from 30 to 45 days, depending on what type of financing strategy you're going to do. If you're doing all cash, you can close it in 7 days and be completely done, and you won't be signing loan docs, and it'll be a little bit quicker of a process. So once you're done signing everything, you're going to walk the property at the very end and make sure that the property is in the same condition as it was when you wrote your offer. You're going to do this with your agent. And then after that, you're going to close escrow and you're going to get your keys. Once you're done with that, one thing I would suggest is that you take all the documents you sign, save them somewhere on your computer in a file. And then there's going to be one document that you're definitely going to need when you go to do your taxes, and that's going to be your closing statement. So make sure you have that saved, and that will come from the title and escrow company that you use. That closing statement will go to your CPA. Whoever's doing your taxes is going to need that for the year that you bought the property. You know, this journey is really fun. It's really rewarding. And I can say for being a first-time buyer, look at real estate as a long game. Don't look at it as short-term. It's not like buying stocks or crypto. It's a long-term play. Think of it that way the whole way through. Just make sure that when you go to buy a property, you can bring the emotion into it, but also bring the logic into it. Make sure that you're running numbers, plan out things. So if you're single or you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend and you think about getting married or you're going to have kids or you got married and you're thinking about having kids, factor everything in, because what happens sometimes is you can qualify for a loan and next thing you know, down the road, you know, you want to have one kid, you want to have two kids. Now you want kids in private schools. And so you can start to have that lifestyle creep. So pay attention to that when you go out there, like really plan it out, like really plan out your journey in buying your first house, because the last thing you want to happen is buy a home and then have a couple kids, something changes where your income, your expenses start to go up, but your income hasn't. And now you're feeling stressed that you own this house. So always pay attention to this. And another thing about housing markets is they go up, they go down. So you could be buying at the top of the market and the market could go down. But the one thing about real estate is if you go the long game, it always typically works itself out and it's highly rewarding. I look at it like a piggy bank. You're putting money into your future and not someone else's future. So I hope you get out there and find your first house. And thanks a lot for being on my first video. This was a little scary, but I kind of like doing more long form. So I think I'm going to start doing this and get better at it. You know, I think that's what goes on. You kind of have to start. I'm not the type of person that can jump into something and be great right off the bat. And I'm sure I probably rambled away on this, but hopefully you pulled some nuggets out of it. And if you like this video, like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. And hopefully at that point, you have yourself a house. Take care.